Hey there, Anne. I just wanted to give you a quick review about what I've been working on so you get an idea about the first stage of the training, and then I can tell you what other work I've been doing. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and show you that I want to be able to do the first one, which is the case documentation, which is the big picture. I think I sent this to you before, but I wanted to just review this so you understand what I'm thinking here. So I wanted to start off with just doing an activity of a think, pair, share, just get them talking in their groups about evaluating their own writing, getting some ownership of this, and thinking about ways that they could improve their documentation. Moving into just what is the rationale for strong documentation, sort of set the foundation for them to understand the significance and the seriousness of it. I might be able to add some more information here if you can give me information from the audit, not to scare them, but just to say the reality of that. That might go there or it might go here, which is another foundation, is why we do what we do, which is always goes back to the code of ethics. And I can speak on some of the concepts from the code of ethics and talk about the regulations. Maybe this is the best part where they would do the audit, the 3130 regulations. Then go into information about what is involved in every contact. Just that they should be thinking about a framework, how they can establish their writing and to move in the direction of having all this information in their contacts. Then I would also like to, if it's appropriate, to share this short video that I use to teach students about taking notes. It's just about 10 minutes. It's a portion of my interview with a simulated client, and then ask them to take some case notes, and we'll review that. What I would also like to do is get them into evaluating that case note. So taking what they just wrote and assessing their note taking with how the subjective component, what facts were observed, assessment about their conclusions, and then the plan there, and then move into talking about how to document with safety domains. I'd like to introduce the safety domains, but not really go into great detail, and save that for the second part of the training, second level of that. Then we'll move into some areas about documentation for specific tasks relating to what can be part of every contact. This is where I'll set the stage for the second training, which will be the risk assessment, safety assessment, family service plan, and we can take a look at that. Moving into some basic writing guidelines, and really have some honest conversation about them, and inspiring them to really work on their ability to do some strong case recording. Has to do with some of their writing ability, and really create a sense of safety for them to be able to look at how they record themselves. Moving into other, so these are other common errors that can create. Then I want to create, I don't have this yet, create a documentation activity where they'll be able to do small group work together and produce something through documentation. Talk about some reminders using the case documentation and safety threshold domains guide that you provided, reminders of how to be able to strengthen them. And then again, end in a think, pair, share. I want to give some time towards the end for question and comments. As it relates to the supervisors, I have this, I have coaching for case documentation, which basically walks through the same slides, but then from a coaching model. So this is on a scale from 1 to 10. Evaluate your unit's documentation scale. If you don't have a unit, consider another work unit. And what is one area that could increase this number just by a small increment? And what feedback have you given to others about documentation? Then these are some questions that will evaluate the case documentation. so that they can have a sense of how are they coaching to have good documentation. Here, I will also review the code of ethics for them and the regulations of why we spend some time talking about this. And then this is a different slide. I want to move in the direction of having the supervisors understand what are some of the barriers. I want to push the supervisors a little bit because I want them to see that they have a significant responsibility to model and to provide the helps in all of these areas, not to just allow things to happen, because all of these areas could be a performance issue, and they have to manage the workers' performance. I don't know what you think about them doing this video, but I thought it would be curious for them to be able to watch this clip and them to produce it and see how they will be able to document this and tell them that this is what their workers are doing as well, and see if they can rise to the task as well. Again, evaluating their case notes based on that activity. Again, introduce the concept of coaching for safety domains, and then specific reminders for that, coaching for basic writing guidelines. I thought that it was important to review this as well, the parallel process with what the supervisors are learning as the workers, so that there's no discrepancies, and coaching for basic writing guides part 2. Do a documentation activity specifically relating to coaching someone who has some documentation issues, and then remind them of some of the coaching tools that we have, and end this with some think, pair, share as well. I also started working on the connecting safety and risk, and started looking at big picture safety review, and then talked about the safety domains. Again, go deeper, talk about a risk review and some procedures in place, and then that family service plan CPP review. And that's about as far as I got. But I wanted to give this information to you so that you can see a little bit about where I'm at, and would love to hear some feedback about the strength of this, and continue to have a dialogue. So I wanted to know that I'm interested in continuing to be excited about this. I have lots of thoughts going on in my head, and I never have a problem filling in the space. So I think that the 3 hours will be beneficial, but I wanted to be more motivational with them, to get them excited about the work that they're doing, and be an encouragement to them. Thanks.